Hello y'all. Welcome to part 2 of my Kingdom of Ukraine Khrushchev path playthrough in the Hearts of Iron 4 mod, Kaiserredux. In part 1, Ukraine got hit with an economic crash because, well, Black Monday. On an unrelated topic, let's now go to the focus tree and start doing the focus Refurbish Odessa Military Academy. This focus will take 42 days, and once it is done, we'll modify the national spirit lessons of the Weltkrieg so that it will provide us with more higher division organization and max planning. And now we have our entire army just watching. Oh, the NSP wins the Russian elections. What's the NSP again? Are they Eurasianist? I don't know what they do. But whatever. The Syndicalists win the Italian majority, it seems, in the Socialist Republic of Italy. I don't know who the NSP is. Are they the Socialist Revolutionaries? Not sure. Oh, the Russian Socialist... The People's Socialist Party. Okay. Malta secures independence. Interesting. Pius XII is elected as the new pope. Someone has returned from Africa. Ivan Chernyhovsky returns from Africa. Ivan Chernyhovsky, a young and talented officer, has returned to Ukraine. He was a member of the Voluntary Ukrainian Division, which supported our German allies in regional conflicts in the Middle African bush. His books on the banks of the Congo and Safari, his books, quote, what they're called On the Banks of the Congo and Safari, have previously made him the most popular Ukrainian soldier and writer in the entire country. Chernyhovsky has been promoted to the rank of colonel and will soon become the commander of the 1st Cossack Division, which ensures this popular figure will command an elite branch of the Ukrainian army. And now from this we gain some base stability and get a new commander. So let's see, where is he at? Let me see here. He is... Basic machine tools is done. Where is he? Where is he? He's right here, I believe. Yeah. Okay, now let's go back over here. Free civilian factories. Build more things. Build more factories in Kyiv. Wherever the infrastructure is best. Collapse of the United Baltic Duchy, that's not good. Now Latvia and Estonia have become their own countries. Dmitry Dontsov, deported from Galicia, Lodomeria. Dmitry Dontsov, a renowned ideologue of Ukrainian nationalism, has been deported from Galicia, where he had urged the local Ukrainian minority to resist the Austro-Hungarian administration. He now claims that our silence on the crisis has exposed the weakness of our government, and that's why Ukraine should be ruled by, quote, real Ukrainian patriots. His slogan, Ukraine for the Ukrainians, is attractive to many citizens, and especially in Western Ukraine, and graffiti has been spotted in a number of towns. This would be dangerous for the cabinet, since we've already lost considerable support in the East. Welcome home, I suppose. And from this event, we lost some stability there. So in West Ukraine, we have Ukrainian nationalists at this time. And in East and Southern Ukraine, well, in Eastern and Southern Ukraine, there are Ukrainians that are sympathizing with Russia and want to maybe try to reunify the country with Russia, or at least get into their sphere of influence, I guess. So Russia is radical socialist, while Ruthenia is social democrat, I think. They're going to assert independence from Germany, which is going to be interesting. Khrushchev criticizes the Ukrainian government. This is a big deal. So what does he say? Nikita Khrushchev, a prominent Ukrainian social democrat, has opened the 3rd Congress of the Ukrainian Syndicalist Party. He demands that the government takes extreme measures to defend the workers and peasants from poverty brought on by the global crash. To further this agenda, he has proposed a new program of major social and economic reforms aimed at helping Ukraine overcome the crisis. This controversial figure is going to present his plan in the Rada soon. Extreme measures, distinct of Bolshevikism. And now, in the focus tree, let us adopt new infantry designs to get some kind of research bonus on infantry weapons. We'll do that now. Research slot available. Let's start doing concentrated industry 1. Doctrines available. What do I do? Superior firepower. I don't know. Maybe. Can we sustain it? I say do superior firepower. I don't know. Do we have the factories for that? I don't know. We'll just do superior firepower. Do that. Yes. Let me see my infantry template. Okay, we have some support artillery. Alright. Okay, then. Should I add another battalion of artillery? Yes, even though that's going to make it harder to make some divisions. Malta has joined the Third Internationale. Memories of the Republic. What is this about? While most of the country has been divided between the right-wing elite and left-wing peasants, there is a growing contingent of middle-class Ukrainians who remember the days of the short-lived UPR, in which everyday people, not only the elites, had a voice in the government. Protests have been mounting in Kiev in recent days to implement moderate reforms based on the model of Western democracies, such as those found in Scandinavia. Stopping short of a total governmental overhaul, but instead calling for open elections to solve the deadlock in the Rata. While a minority of these protesters are ardent Republicans, many seem open to the idea of retaining Vasil as a constitutional monarch. One of Ukraine's most prominent generals, Simon Patyora, has expressed their support for the protest, saying that allowing free elections to the Rada could go a long way to bridge the gap between left and right, and perhaps even solve the ongoing agricultural crisis. Maybe it's time to take them seriously, and from that we get some base stability. And there's just more and more factions emerging in the Kingdom of Ukraine, which it's not looking good for the Habsburg king at all. He has a lot of people just eyeing to control the country. It looks like our future. Okay, this is a big deal. The agricultural crisis has almost shattered the Ukrainian economy and the stability of many of the nation's most important institutions. The king's grip on the country is weakening by the hour. Peasants loyal to the Hetman want major land reforms. Pro-Russian malcontents and Ukrainian nationalists demand radical measures, and the syndicalists are mobilizing workers all over the country. Various political movements struggle for power in our teetering nation, and soon we have to choose who will lead Ukraine into the future. Ukraine will stagger on as it always has. Ukraine will survive there. And now in the focus tree, let me go ahead and cancel this. Adopt infantry designs or new infantry designs. Complete our future. Do this now. It has been bypassed. And it says here the agricultural crisis has almost shattered the Ukrainian economy and stability in the country. The king barely controls the country. Those loyal to the Hetman peasants want land reforms. Pro-Russian forces and nationalists demand radical measures. And the syndicalists mobilize their supporters all over the country. So now we have 4 options here, politically speaking. So let's go with invite Khrushchev into government, or Khrushchev. Nikita Khrushchev, a well-known but controversial Ukrainian social democrat, proposes the populist idea, very popular among the peasants, of the reorganization of our agriculture. We have to admit that this proposition seems like it can help Ukraine in her time of crisis. Maybe we should invite him into government to implement these reforms. So he will enter into the Ukrainian government, and he will also make some kind of speech once he's there. White Sun over China, that's an event. And now, how's this division doing? We're training. Fine, I need a lot of artillery pieces, my goodness. I need more factories on artillery. Construction 1 is done. Good. Excavation 1, get started on that. Rifles and carbines. This is some kind of film event. It's an event about a movie. And I think it's basically... Okay, I'm not going to read... I don't know, I should read this one. Rifles and Carbines, produced by Alexander Dovzhenko. The film Rifles and Carbines is devoted to the story of the struggle between the Russian White forces under General Drozdovsky and the forces of the Ukrainian kingdom in 1918 in the south during the Icy Dawn March. The film, which was conceived to be an answer to Bulgakov's White Guard, doesn't try to point out possible methods of reconciliation, but raises, by implication, the potential for separatists and spies of foreign powers to still be hiding among the Ukrainian population, and both willing and able to try and exploit its weakness. And from that we lose some base stability. So there are different factions wanting influence and control in the country, and Belarus has become, what are they now? They are syndicalist, Poland is totalist, it looks like, and what is going on in Lithuania? They're just kind of watching everything happen, aren't they? And then we have a socialist Russian Republic. So Eastern Europe is looking very interesting, very left-leaning, I guess, in a way. and Ukraine will soon join a lot of these governments and countries, since Khrushchev is going to be asserting more and more control. I think Khrushchev's speech, he says, is one of the few social democrats in the Rada. Nikita Khrushchev wields a mesmerizing degree of influence over the Ukrainian peasantry and urban rabble. He has taken advantage of our troubles in a recent speech, where he has openly called for sweeping land reforms, an extension of the electoral franchise, and an end to landlord dominance in the countryside. These demands are extremely popular among the lower classes and are giving them ideas dangerous to national stability. Despite this, perhaps we could make use of Khrushchev's popularity and allow him to become the face of economic reforms. Well, and the face of economic reforms unpopular amongst rural landlords that we would otherwise take a political hit over anyway. So the Spodopsky will be dismissed and Khrushchev will be invited to head a popular government. And now we have a new flag, but here's Nikita Khrushchev. He is the hetman, essentially, and Ukraine has become social democrat. Now in the focus tree, we're going to start doing Popular Front. And it says there, to read that, it will take 35 days. It says, though we have given Khrushchev free rein to reorganize the economy, many of our legislators in the Rada have prevented any attempts by Khrushchev to reduce the power of the kulak landlords. That's right, Khrushchev has announced the creation of the, quote, Popular Front, unquote, which will unite left members of the Supreme Rada and give him enough authority to change the laws. And from this we'll get an event and also some political power and a national spirit called Popular Front, which will boost the popularity of totalism, syndicalism, radical socialism, and social democracy in the country. Here's that new division we have here, bring them to the front line. There we go. And can I justify anyone yet? I don't think I can. So Deutsch Germany Asia declared war on Germany Asia. Well, not on themselves. They declared war on Indochina. He was trying to break away from them. And Popular Front will be done soon enough, hopefully. Just let's get that done here. Do I have any war goals with Khrushchev, I wonder? I'm not entirely certain. Maybe. I don't know. I may try to invade at least some country as Ukraine. Get into a war with at least someone in this playthrough, hopefully. Because it doesn't look like we have any war goals. We might just get involved in a war with the German Empire, maybe. I don't know entirely, though. Popular Front is done. The Popular Front is a common name used to refer to an unofficial coalition of left-wing forces, primarily composing of moderate social democrats, socialists, and vanguardists. Despite the conflicting views held by the factions, they remain a united force, primarily thanks to Khrushchev, whose cult-like following amongst the peasantry has allowed himself and his allies to coerce the moderates into remaining loyal. For now, Khrushchev has held back on previous radical promises, such as the abolishment of the monarchy, in order to appease the Social Democrat majority who wished for progressive change. His increasingly vague stances have helped maintain the front's unity, whilst not completely rejecting the will of his hardcore supporters. The Social Democratic majority also serves as a tool used by Khrushchev to appeal to Fasil, who will surely oppose cooperation had the vanguardists been given a larger platform. Let's see how long this lasts. Okay, now in the focus tree, what do we do? I don't know yet. So, expropriate kulak holdings or increase kulak taxation. We have collectivization versus distribute our new wealth. I don't know. So from that, another crisis will be gone. I don't know. What do we choose here? So base stability plus totalism. Base stability 6%. Let's just do this one here because it gives us more base stability. And expropriate kulak holdings. Kulaks or kurkuls is a category of relatively affluent farmers who are able to hire a lot of the poorest peasants and thus earn an enormous amount of money. Since they are hated by the majority of the peasants, we can easily expropriate their lands, and divide them between the poorest peasants in the country. And from this we'll get an event called Kulaks targeted by land expropriation. We'll get some base stability, and the popularity of totalism will rise up. The reason I did this one instead of increased kulak taxation is simply because it provides more base stability once the focus is done. Although I think we would have got the base stability from, I don't know, you had to choose between distribute our new wealth and collectivization, essentially. That's what it amounts to. And now we gotta wait a few more days for that focus to be completed, but Khrushchev is effectively in charge. The king is here, the Karol is here, I think that's how you say it. He's still there, but Khrushchev is obviously becoming much more prominent in his rise to power, effectively, in the country. And with that said, I'm going to end what is part 2 of my Kingdom of Ukraine Khrushchev Path playthrough in the Hearts of Iron 4 mod, Kaiserredux here. If you enjoyed the mod, you can check it out in the video description, a link to it is there. If you enjoyed the video itself, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.